person who masters this will be thought by others to simply have a knack for just knowing the right thing to say. It's far less a knack, though, than it is a learned skill. With your Influence and Success Insight, I'm Bob Burg. Principle number 4 of genuine influence is to communicate with tact and empathy. Here, let's just look at tact. My dad, Mike Burg, always defined tact as the language of strength. I love that definition, not just because he's my dad, but because it often takes a lot of strength to speak, post, respond to a tweet or email, or otherwise communicate with tact when, at least immediately, it might feel a whole lot better to simply unload and let that person have it. Yet, not only would doing that be more about a lack of control over your own emotions, it would harm a current or future relationship with that person. And it would cause those who are watching, reading, or listening to have much less respect for you than they otherwise would, regardless of whether or not they would have simply unloaded. Tact is really a way of communicating an idea or concept to someone that ordinarily they wouldn't agree with, but doing so in such a way that not only are they not defensive toward you and resistant to your idea, but rather they're open to you and more accepting of your idea. Please don't confuse tact with being dishonest. You simply understand that when it comes to communicating effectively and bringing out the best in others, you're not necessarily dealing with people's logic as much as you are with their emotions, their feelings, their ego. You're certainly going to communicate the necessary message, just in a way that bypasses their ego's tendency to resist the messenger as well as the message, and instead opens them up to being more receptive. Keep in mind that facts don't persuade, people persuade. Come right out and say to that person, "You're wrong," or even just recite the fact they don't currently believe, and they'll most likely and unconsciously hold even stronger to their current belief than before they were told how wrong they are. And the more condescending, angrier, or louder the messenger, the more their message will be rejected, facts aside. Those times when, as a leader, it's truly necessary to correct or teach, or as a consumer, you need to let the company know they messed up, or a friend needs to be made aware of something important, even if embarrassing, tact would certainly be the way to go, wouldn't it? But I believe in being brutally honest, a person says. You know, one thing I've noticed is that those who pride themselves on being brutally honest are typically much more interested in being brutal than they are in being honest. Of course, honesty is an extremely high value. And this is so important, being kind and tactful in your approach is not being dishonest. Actually, what tact really does is allow you to speak the truth, but to speak it both compassionately and more effectively. I've also often noticed that at times people confuse tact with compromise. Again, not so. We can always speak kindly, tactfully, and respectfully to others without compromising our values. As you continue through these videos, you'll notice that tact will pretty much come into play in every example we use. You'll also see how you can easily and naturally integrate it into all of your interpersonal communications. Implementing tact will go a long way toward, as is the purpose of genuine influence, attaining the results you want when dealing with others, while helping them to feel genuinely good about themselves, about the situation, and about you. Next video, we'll explore empathy. With your Influence and Success Insight, I'm Bob Burg. Make it a great day.